Right now, if you stood beside me in my kitchen here in Okinawa, you would see me doing something that takes 4 seconds, costs nothing at all, and has been quietly saving my household money every single day for over 50 years. I have just finished my morning tea, and before I set the kettle down, I reach behind the small shelf and I flip a single switch, and with that one small motion, the television, the radio, and 3 other little machines in my home stop drinking electricity. Not sleeping, stopped. Because here is the thing, almost no one in your country has ever been told. Most of the machines in your home are eating electricity right now, at this very moment, while they are turned off, while you sleep, while you are away, silently every hour of every day, all year long. And tonight, I am going to give you 7 habits, not gadgets, not purchases, habits, that my family has practiced for generations, every one of them completely free, that together can quietly take a real bite out of your electric bill every single month, starting this week. My name is Kenji Takara. I am 81 years old, and I have lived my whole life on the island of Okinawa, in the south of Japan. I was raised in a home where electricity was treated like a guest, welcomed, respected, and never, ever wasted. My grandmother lived through years when there was no electricity at all, and when it finally came to our village, she never lost the habit of treating every lamp, every heated thing, every humming machine as something that cost real money. Because it did, and it does. She counted the burning lamps in our house the way another woman might count the coins in her purse, and the habits she drilled into me as a boy, small, free, daily habits, are the reason my electric bill has been the quiet envy of my neighbors for 50 years. Not because I own special machines, because I practice old habits with ordinary ones. But before I give you the 7, I must tell you the part that should make you a little angry. The power company knows everything I am about to tell you. They have known it for decades, and they will never, ever put it in a letter to you, because every one of these habits takes money directly out of their pocket and leaves it in yours. Think about what they do send you. A bill with a number and no explanation of where the number came from. They are perfectly happy for your machines to drink power all night while you sleep. They are delighted when you heat the whole house to warm one person, when your refrigerator labors twice as hard as it needs to, when your dryer runs for an hour, doing what the sun would do for free. Every wasteful habit in your home is income to them. Steady, silent, automatic income collected every month from millions of homes, from people who were simply never taught the old ways of living carefully with electricity. There is no profit in teaching you to need less, so nobody teaches it. The knowledge simply died out, one generation at a time, until people came to believe the bill is just what it costs. It is not. A good part of that bill is nothing but habit, and habits are free to change. Now here is where almost everyone goes wrong, and if you do not understand this one thing, you will try a trick for a week, see no miracle, and give up. So listen closely. People look for one big secret, one switch, one gadget, one dramatic change that cuts the bill in half overnight. And when each little habit alone saves only a few dollars a month, they sniff at it and abandon it. This is the mistake. This is exactly backward. The electric bill is not one big leak. It is 20 small leaks, dripping quietly, all day, every day, all year. No single drip looks like much. Together, they are a river. The old way, the Japanese way, the way of Matanai, which means to waste nothing, is the opposite. You stop every small leak, patiently, as a daily habit, and the savings stack on top of each other, month after month, forever. 7 small habits, each one free, each one permanent. That is how a household wins this quietly, for life. Not with one trick, with a way of living. So let us begin with the first habit, the one I showed you at my kitchen shelf, and very likely the easiest money you will ever keep. Habit 1. Kill the silent thieves. Walk through your home tonight and count the little lights, the red dot on the television, the glowing clock on the microwave, the cable box, the game machine, the printer, the chargers left in the wall, the coffee maker with its bright display. Every one of those is a machine that never truly sleeps. They sit in standby, drinking a trickle of power 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, so that they can wake up 2 seconds faster when you press a button. The engineers call it phantom load, the power your home eats while doing absolutely nothing. In a typical home, it can be a meaningful slice of the whole bill, quietly, for nothing in return. The habit is simple. Group these machines onto power strips. Most homes already have them. And when you are done for the night, you flip the strip's switch. One motion. Everything truly off. My grandmother turned her home dark and silent every night as a ritual, the way you lock the front door. 4 seconds at the kitchen shelf. Money kept every single night for the rest of your life. Habit 2. Put the sun to work. It has never once sent a bill. This one costs nothing but attention, and it works in both seasons, in every home with a window. In summer, the sun pouring through your glass is heating your home like an oven, and then you pay the air conditioner to fight it. So in the hot months, you close the curtains and blinds on the sunny side of the house through the middle of the day, especially the west windows in the afternoon, and you keep that free heat out. In winter, you do the exact opposite. You throw those same curtains wide open on the south side and let the sun pour in and warm your rooms for free all day. And the moment the sun sets, you close them again, so the warmth it gave you does not leak back out through the cold glass at night. Open, close, with the rhythm of the sun. My grandmother moved through our house twice a day doing this, as naturally as breathing, and our home was cooler in August and warmer in January than houses twice as fine. Free heating, free cooling, 2 minutes a day. And that brings us to the third habit, the one that surprises people most. Because there is one machine in your home that runs every hour of every day, all year long, without ever resting. It is very likely the single biggest steady drinker of electricity in your house, and almost everyone is quietly forcing it to work far harder than it needs to, without ever knowing it. Habit 3. Stop overworking your refrigerator. It is the one machine that never sleeps. Day and night, summer and winter, it labors on, and over a year it drinks more steady power than almost anything else you own. And yet most people force it to work double through small habits they have never once thought about. So change them tonight for free. First, stop putting hot food inside it. When you slide a warm pot of soup straight into the refrigerator, the machine must fight that heat for hours. My grandmother let every dish cool on the counter first, covered, and only then put it away. The food is just as safe, and the machine barely notices. Second, stop standing with the door open, gazing in like a man looking at the sea. Every second, the door stands open. The cold spills out across your feet, and the machine must make it all again. Decide what you want. Open, take it, close. Third, check the door's rubber seal. Close the door on a piece of paper, and if the paper slides out easily, cold air is leaking there every hour of every day. Often a simple cleaning of the rubber with warm water restores the grip. Fourth, give the machine air. Pull it a few inches from the wall so the warm air behind it can escape, and once or twice a year, sweep the dust from the coils at the back or beneath. A machine breathing through dust works far harder for the same cold. And fifth, keep it reasonably full. A full refrigerator holds its cold like a full kettle holds its heat. The food itself becomes the coldness. Every one of these is free. Together, they can take a real, permanent bite out of the biggest steady drinker in your home. Habit 4. Wash cold and let the sun dry. Here is a truth about your washing machine that the detergent companies quietly admitted years ago. For ordinary daily laundry, cold water washes perfectly well, and the great majority of the electricity your washer uses goes not to the washing, but to heating the water. Turn the dial to cold, and that entire cost simply vanishes from your bill, load after load, forever. Wash full loads, not half ones. The machine works the same either way, so make each run count. And then, the dryer. My friends, I must speak plainly. The clothes dryer is one of the hungriest machines ever brought into a home, and it does, with expensive electricity, while wearing out your clothes, exactly what the sun and the wind have done for free since the beginning of the world. A length of line in the yard, a folding rack on the balcony, or beside a sunny window, your clothes dry for nothing. They smell of fresh air instead of perfumed sheets, and they last years longer because that gray lint in the dryer trap is nothing less than your clothing being slowly ground away. In Okinawa, every household hangs its washing. It has never occurred to us to pay for wind. Even drying just half your loads on the line cuts that machine's cost in half. Free every single week of the year. Habit 5. Cook like a Japanese grandmother. The kitchen hides more free savings than any room in the house, and they all come down to respecting heat instead of throwing it away. Put a lid on the pot, always. Water boils dramatically faster in a covered pot, using far less power to get there. Yet half the world boils water in an open pan, paying to heat the ceiling. Match the pot to the burner. A small pot on a large burner sends rings of flame or heat licking up around the sides, warming the air of the kitchen instead of your dinner. Boil only the water you need. Filling the whole kettle to make 1 cup of tea is paying to heat water you will pour away. And learn my grandmother's quietest trick of all. The heat you already paid for keeps working after you turn it off. Rice, eggs, noodles, stews, bring them to temperature. Then turn the burner off minutes early. Keep the lid on and let the stored heat finish the cooking for free. She called the covered pot the second stove. It costs nothing. It works every single day, 3 times a day, for the rest of your life. Habit 6. Warm the person, not the house. This is perhaps the deepest difference between the old Japanese home and the modern Western one, and it is worth real money every winter and every summer. The Western habit is to heat or cool the entire building, every room, every hallway, the guest room nobody sleeps in, so that 1 or 2 people can be comfortable. The Japanese tradition, born of centuries without central heating, is the opposite. You make the people comfortable, and you let the empty rooms be. In winter, that means dressing warmly indoors. A good sweater and warm socks are worth several degrees on the thermostat. Keeping a blanket on the sofa for the evening, closing the doors of rooms you are not using so you stop paying to heat emptiness and gathering the family in one warm room in the evening rather than scattering through 5 heated ones. This is the whole wisdom of the kotatsu, the low-heated table under a quilt that Japanese families have gathered around for 600 years. Warm the small space where the people actually are, and let the building take care of itself. Every single degree you can move your thermostat, down in winter, up in summer, takes a real percentage off that part of your bill. And heating and cooling are for most homes the largest part of the bill there is. A sweater is free. A closed door is free. Sitting together under one blanket instead of heating 3 rooms is free, and, I would add, rather better for a family besides. Habit 7. Walk the house. This is the habit that holds all the others together, and it is the one I most hope you will take from tonight. Every evening before bed, my grandmother walked our home, top to bottom, in a slow, unhurried round that took her perhaps 2 minutes. Every lamp behind her went dark. Every machine went silent. The strips were switched off, the curtains drawn against the night. The last drips of the day stopped with her own 2 hands. She did not call it saving electricity. She called it putting the house to bed. The same way you would never leave a fire burning or a door unlocked, you do not leave a house drinking power all night for no one. Make the evening walk your ritual, and the other 6 habits stop being things you must remember and become simply the way your household lives. 2 minutes a night. It is the cheapest insurance policy ever written. Now, 3 small extra things that most people overlook, each one free or nearly so, to sharpen the 7. First, find your water heater's dial. Many water heaters are set from the factory hotter than any household needs. So hot you must mix the water down with cold just to touch it, which means you are paying all day and all night to keep water at a temperature you never actually use. Setting it to about 120 degrees Fahrenheit is the widely given standard. Safer against scalding, perfectly hot for every task, and quietly cheaper every hour of the year. Second, hunt the light left burning. It sounds too simple to matter, and alone, one bulb is small. But the habit of the lamp, light the room you are in, darken the room you leave, multiplied across every room and every evening for years, is real money, and it was the first lesson every Japanese child of my generation learned. If a bulb burns out, replace it with an LED, and that lamp will cost a fraction to run for the next decade, but the habit itself cost nothing at all. Third, read your bill the way my mother kept her kakebo, the little household account book where every coin was written down and made to explain itself. Once a month, look at the actual number of units you used, not just the dollars, and watch it move as your habits take hold. What is measured improves. And there is a genuine pleasure, I promise you, in watching that number fall month after month and knowing that every point of the drop was your own 2 hands and no one else's. Let me tell you one more thing about my grandmother, because she is standing behind every one of these 7 habits. When the electricity first came to our village, the neighbors celebrated it like a festival, and within a few years, many of them were complaining bitterly about the bills, as though the power company had tricked them. My grandmother never complained about a bill in her life. I asked her once, when I was perhaps 10 years old, why our bill was so much smaller than our neighbors, when their house was no bigger than ours. She was wiping the glass of a lamp as I asked. She wiped them weekly, so the same oil would give more light, and she said something I have carried for 70 years. She said, "The power company sells to everyone at the same price, Kenji. The difference is not in what they charge, The difference is in what we waste. That is the whole of it, in one sentence, from a woman who never read a book about energy in her life. The bill is not fate. The bill is habits, and habits belong to you. And this is the larger truth I want to leave with you, beyond the dollars, though the dollars are real and they matter. For a household that practices all 7 of these habits faithfully will genuinely feel it in the bill, month after month, year after year, and it will cost them nothing but attention. Every month that bill arrives and most people pay it with a sigh, believing the number is simply the price of modern life, that they are helpless before it. You are not helpless. A good piece of that number is nothing but leaks, habits no one ever taught you to close, because there was never any profit in teaching you. To close them, one by one, with your own hands and no purchase at all, is to take back a small piece of your independence from a company that counts on your carelessness as income. On a fixed income, in your later years, that is not a small thing. That is groceries. That is medicine. That is the quiet dignity of a household that runs carefully, the way our grandparents' households ran, not out of misery, but out of self-respect. This is Matanai. Waste nothing, not the sunlight, not the stored heat in a covered pot, not the wind that dries a shirt, and not one coin of the money you worked a lifetime to earn. So tell me, in the comments below, where in this world do you live, and what does summer or winter do to your electric bill there? Go and count the little glowing lights in your home tonight, the silent thieves, and come back and tell me the number. I read every message that comes to me, and I would dearly love to know who among you flips their first power strip tonight and begins, like my grandmother, to put the house to bed. And the next time we sit together, I will show you the one place in your home where warmth escapes faster than anywhere else in winter, a place most people never once think to look, and the old Japanese way to seal it in a single afternoon, with materials that cost almost nothing, that can make a cold, drafty room feel like a different house entirely. Until then, waste nothing, close the small leaks, and remember always that the people who lived closest to the earth understood things that we, with all our humming machines and all our monthly bills, are only now beginning to remember once again.